What's up, everybody? My name is Erin, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio, and welcome back for Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. We are much further along than I thought we were. And let's check our map real quick. We learned we could fast travel, but I'm not going to do that because if you'll see, we've only gathered 150 stories out of 237. There are still so many more stories to see across the country and listen to and gather and tell. And we've completed Althea. We got Little Ben up to chapter 3. Everybody is up to chapter 3. And we completed Franklin. I'm shocked. And I cannot wait to finish hearing everyone else's stories. We've not checked in on Dupree for a while. Maybe we go back down to the Florida area. I think that's where she was. But I am stoked to see the next round of character art from all of these beautiful people. Okay, so I just went through all of my inventoried stories and I shuffled them around a bit and I got most, if not all, of everyone's character stories added to the mix. So hopefully we should have ideally somewhat smooth sailing from here on out as far as determining which stories I've told to who and when. But we're gonna go talk to Mason now. The waitress at this diner is sharing an outlandish tale with one of her regulars. I heard it from my sister-in-law, she says. It happened to her daughter's friend. It's true. She notices you listening. Hey, have you heard this one before? Which one? She regales you with a story about millions of colorful butterflies sweeping across the sky. Halfway through, you realize it's the story of the beautiful butterflies, but highly embellished. What do you think about that? The waitress exclaims. It's an interesting tale. Sure is, she agrees, and true. Every word of it. Move on. And we have 150 stories, or a little bit less than, that can still grow and get embellished. This is wild. Whoa!
When everything has left you, all that remains is a peculiar peace. It's hard to keep it, especially considering the panic that comes on sometimes. Sometimes when it's hard to breathe. Truthfully, the leg being gone is bad enough, but the way people look at you, that's when I miss being whole the most. Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore. Wish I could tell that one to my sister. Luck? I don't know how to think about that anymore. When did my luck run out? How many other men got scratches from that rusty barbed wire? How many yards of wire on how many deadly fields led to the scratch on my leg, the one that took my own body from me, that made me a burden? Maybe it'll take my mind off my sorrow to hear about somebody else's. Tell me a sad story. I wish I could talk about what happened in the trenches the way you do. I'd help someone to understand. I've got old sadnesses in life, and newer ones too. Ma's mind is going. It's slow, but she doesn't remember where she lives some days. When she sees me, she thinks I'm Paul. And I gotta tell her, I have to tell her slowly, that it's me, Mason, and that Paul's not here right now. He's gone away. The sadness is too great to bear. So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
I might.
Yeah, Paul would have liked that one. Trust? I never really considered trust an issue till I got back and my leg was rotting. I didn't trust the doctors, I didn't trust my sister Jessie, but once the leg had to go, she actually helped me take care of it. I could actually trust her. Did my mistrust cause my problems? Should I have had faith all along? But anyway, do you know any good sad stories? True ones? Well, maybe you should tell my story to Hoover. I think you might put a crack in his heart. Traps. Lack is what holds you down, and that's just as bad as heavy chains of plenty. I can grow stronger with chains on, but when lack takes away your ability to move, takes away your mobility, there's no growing from that. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
I should, but I do not think we are going to finish out your chapter with that eye halfway open.
For a moment there, just a moment, I felt better about it all too. Wishes fulfilled? If I had my way, I'd go back to a time before the war. But now, I have no wishes.
I did not expect us to unlock, or excuse me, just finish out this chapter now that we know that chapter 3 is the limit.
The stars cross the sky, and they mean nothing.
Aww.
Before the war, I had Paul. I wasn't often alone. After the war, it wasn't only my family turning away from me. It was our government turning from what they couldn't bear to see. But remember, no matter what happens to you, you will always have the solidarity of the road and the earth. They will never deny you their company.
That was it? We get no background lore about this weird in-between life and death dimension that we're stuck in? Excuse me, Mason. Excuse me. What did we get from you? A shell casing from a bullet worn by handling. Because all these characters are dead, right? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know anymore. So from here, we are just going to progress through the game. I'm not going to do any fast travel unless I feel desperate, because we still have oh so many stories to collect. And I'm not always a completionist, but I would like to try to get as many of them as possible. Just so we have like a full, you know, a better scope of the game, of everything that it has to offer. But again, even if we don't get some of the stories, that's okay too, because again, this has replayability, and I highly encourage everyone to play this for themselves. It is so worth the money. I mean, it's valuable in that way for me because I love these types of games, but I would also highly encourage everyone to check it out because I feel this is one of those games that everybody should experience at least once in your life. Hey Quinn. Hey Cass. Hey Flip.
Hey stranger, it's good to see you. I've been missing our talk since you and I last split.
That voice and that face do not match, but I'm down for it.
Been thinking how my family Judased me and how they did wrong by my little brother. Worrying there was maybe something else I could have done. Here, sit with me. I want someone to talk with about all this. Though I love 'em dearly, my dogs ain't such good talkers. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
I think I'm equipped to hook you up, my boy.
Well, that sure was a downer.
Oh.
Give me a good venture tale instead any day.
Oh, my bad.
Authority. When I really think on it, I reckon my folks started out with the best intentions. Wanted to give their kids a good life, a good home, but they failed. And it wasn't them who paid the price. Isn't that just what authority means? You don't suffer for the decisions you make. Someone else does. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
I thought I did, but okay. I'm going to tell him about August.
Well, that was a lively tale. Stranger, I try my best not to think on the past. This ain't my normal state of things. But, you see, Cass ain't a very good conversationalist, and it's nice to have someone really listen to my story. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
I got you, fam.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. Brings to mind my home. Grew up riverside in North Louisiana. Not the Mississippi, mind. One of its tributes. When I think happy thoughts about that old house, I think about the river 50 yards back from the porch. I think about the muddy bank and how it felt to have your feet sink into that particular kind of muck. I think how that straight new river road they put in reoriented the farm. Front became the back, and we turned our backs on the river. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot. Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite. You talk about fate. I wonder sometimes if what was in them is in me too. That thing. Whatever it was that made my parents no good for people. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
Aw, Quinn.
That was a chuckle to be sure. You want to talk about trust. I surely did trust 'em, stranger. A mistake I don't aim to repeat. But what child ain't gonna trust their parents when times get hard and your whole world is a 5-mile stretch of muddy riverbank? My oh my, stranger, listen to me blubbering on about my woes. I reckon it's something about you what brings it out of folks. You're searching for something great, something holy, aren't you? But you don't figure you're gonna find it.
I'm not exactly sure what I'm searching for. I'm collecting stories to pay my debt to Mr. Wolf, and I still do not know who he is, per se.
And you wonder if it can't be found at all, or if it's just you that can't find it. Really eats at you, don't it? I can see it in you. Anyway, I best be getting on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road. Take care of yourself, stranger.
Oh, I feel like your story is incomplete. I want to hear more. Oh, my boy. Now, when I last left Quinn, because we saw him on a train, he like actually appeared in 2 different places, and I think that spot's also empty now. Oh my goodness, these stories are too short now. I'm gonna, every time I'm near a city, I want to double check and make sure that I've already explored them, and then also just if I need to buy anything. Okay, we're all full up in Boston. We've already explored, so we got our story from there. What do they got in their store? We don't need anything, but I still like to look. They got hot apple cider, clam chowder, a spaghetti plate, and a blue plate special. Blue plate specials have to mean something different in every state, right? Because I've seen it in different places. And when I think of blue plate special, nothing is coming to mind of what that could be other than like maybe a diner, like a breakfast diner special kind of deal. Like hot eggs. Hot scrambled eggs and grits. Of course, we're up in Massachusetts. They might not have grits. Which is sad because they're delicious and you could put anything in them. A long black car growls up in front of a hotel. Out steps a woman in an extravagant hat and coat, followed by a crowd of hangers-on. Is she a singer? An actress? You don't recognize her face, but to your surprise, you recognize the story she's telling. Listen in. In a sharp transatlantic accent, she's telling everyone in her party about the devil-possessed leader and his apocalypse cult. It's clearly the story of the suicide cult of the acid heads led by a charismatic man, but changed in a few entertaining ways. Keep listening in. Isn't that something? She asks. Her various followers agree. She pays the driver out of the limousine and sweeps into the hotel like a thunderstorm of red velvet. Someone should do a picture about it, you hear her exclaim. Move on. Okay, and we do not need anything here, but we could get a fresh bagel, a slice of pizza, scrambled eggs, and the blue plate special. The policeman in the truck on this corner is having a pretty wild argument with someone on the other end of the radio. No, he keeps saying. No way! You listen in as the man on the radio flashes a wild story about the deer who chose death over enslavement. Wait a second. I'll swear this is what happened, the cop over the radio insists. That's when it clicks. You know the story. It's a stranger version of the white deer, but with some bits left out or replaced. Ain't true, the cop in the truck sighs. If only he knew. Hey, little Ben, thanks for having us back.
You're free to sit down by me here as anywhere. Wouldn't that be something if that were true?
Whoa, that is so cool and powerful. That's a powerful image. And he kind of looks like the tarot card.
Fact is, I ain't safe for you. You get found with me tonight, they'll think you're Union too, no matter what you tell them.
Unions are important. If it were not for unions, you know, my dad and I would not have the jobs that we do now.
Even when it seems we're all alone, and you've done nothing to deserve it, you ain't free. I do appreciate the company. If we make it through the night, be sure to say you ain't never met me. For us both. Can you tell me something sad? Sometime you just want a story that goes with how the world already is.
Yeah, there's a lot of sadness still out there in the world. Let me tell you about my friend Franklin.
This kind of sadness is where we all meet one another, on level ground. Sorrow comes seeping in, worse than trapped gas. Can't breathe like that. Why'd they build this country on top of the workers' graves? So many children with broken fingers and legs, wheeled out in little broken bits. Why?
It's all a rich man's game, I guess. It's like that all over the world.
My mother counting every day who goes up the hill to work and who comes back down. The day my brother, Big Ben, wasn't with him. You start starving for air to think about it, so you best not. You best get angry instead.
And that led you into wanting a funny story. All right.
Oh boy, you watch out now, I'll start chuckling. Heaven? Mother Jones once said that carrying a vote was the same as carrying a bayonet. I imagine a sea of weapons laid down, a foam of words writ down instead, and all of us miners going onward. Onward with them to freedom. Real freedom.
And it sucks because we're still fighting for this today. That's the problem. Should have already been done.
And then finally, after all that abiding, she said, all that law abiding, then we get a jag. Yeah, when that day comes, a skinful will be real nice. A skinful or two. And a morning's honest work to soldier through. Grateful. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
I'm not sure we're going to get through.
You are a pretty funny one, you know that? The future keeps me going. Last night, I slept lying in the mud like a hunted animal when a sound come and wake me. I thought, it's Baldwin dogs. Though if it had been, I wouldn't have got me up again. And here I am. Howl rips through the dark. Sounded like someone crying, no, no, no. I woke up with a chill. But it's still the best dream I've had since I left home. I reckon it's a premonition. Someone asked the people, are you going to go on and keep taking it? And all together, the living and the dead were rising up to say no, no, no. Got any funny stories? Must have a couple.
Maybe? I'm not sure. I've not told this story before, and it's one of the newer ones that I added.
You got some wit, stranger.
There we go.
Love? Well, there's more important things. There's bigger wounds. There's bigger fault lines lying under this country than anything that could ever go shuddering through your heart. You ask me. Lots of songs and stories about lovers that come and go. But partners, men, women, workers, you can build almost anything on top of that. Anyway, maybe tell me some scary story. I like that.
I'd like that too.
Damn. Every so often I like one of those scary campfire tales. Home. Imagine anyone could cross your threshold and no Baldwin dogs come sniff about it. Imagine a little bit of land to do whatever you like. Look around us right now. Tonight, skyline coming together with the tree line, black and blue as a spent breath, sweet as you please. Just seems like there's so much of it, like it goes on near forever. Seems fair for each of us to get a square, don't it? Till you dare hope. I got to go, friend. Up the road this way. Wish I had a line of people like you waiting to sit with me and share a fire. But I don't. And I understand. They know how they can get shot. But some of them will see it safer to die standing for something than the way they'll end up dead anyway.
Ooh.
And that's something you understand too, right? Maybe we share a fire again, friend. I hope we do.
I'll be there. Wow. Who is this in front of me right now? Is that him again? Yes, it is. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Thank you so much for joining me. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And down in the comments, why don't you let me know which character that you either relate to or find the most inspiring, because all of these characters are just blown me away. This game, my expectations for it have been blown out of the water. I highly recommend to play it. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to dive back in, but I'm gonna go grab some food. So thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!